And we are live. Welcome back to Sports Scrutiny Live. I am BJ.
And I'm Rob. Welcome to 2018.
2018 Sports Scrutiny. I hope everybody had a good New Year's. I hope everybody had a good Christmas. I had a
Hope
good
everybody
Christmas. How
was
about you,
safe.
Rob?
My Christmas was alright.
Good, man. That's good. Well, we 2018, we're bringing it to you guys. 2018. We got a lot to talk about. Off with today, we are going to start off talking about what has been going on in the MMA world, particularly the UFC. So, UFC 219 just happened. The last card of the year just happened. And the main event on that card was Chris Cyborg versus, she defends her featherweight title against Holly Holm, the preacher's
Yep.
daughter. So, it went 5 rounds. So here's the thing about Cyborg, man, and Cyborg proved this to everybody the other night. And what she proved was that she can go 5 hard rounds. Everybody had this thing about Cyborg that, Cyborg, Cyborg can't fight 5 rounds, and she's too big for 5 rounds, and all this yada 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 about Chris Cyborg. Cyborg showed the world, because none of Cyborg's fights have ever went in the later rounds. They've all been first round or knockouts most of the time, right, Rob?
Yeah.
So she answered a lot of questions Saturday night against Holly Holm.
I
We knew.
honestly, when I
Go ahead.
to chime in real quick, when I was watching it, I think that was Cyborg's strategy, to be honest, because she didn't look as determined to end the fight as she did in past fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because in the second round, when you saw her approach to Holly Holm saw that she wasn't as aggressive, and she took advantage of it. And then in the
Mm-hmm.
third round, there wasn't none of that. Cyborg adapted to that aggressive Holly Holm, and then she basically just rode the card the rest of the way.
But Holly did a great job of being very elusive. I mean,
Yes, she did.
she did a good job, and like I said, any woman that goes in there and doesn't get TKO by Chris Cyborg, I really do commend them. And people talk, a lot of people were what's up, Brian? We got some people in the live chat. What's up, Brian? The thing with Cyborg, Holly was able to stay out of the when Holly took some punches. I mean, obviously she took some punches,
Oh yeah.
but she was able to stick and move. She was able to. She's the first person I've seen in a long time make. Hey, Tisha, how you doing? Um, I mean, it's just the first time in a long time I've seen Cyborg bleed. Holly made her bleed. I think it was like a step in elbow or something that Holly threw. Some of the same moves she used on Run to break down Ronda Rousey. She used against Cyborg with the step in elbow. I mean, the head kicks were working. It's just that it was such a power difference between Holly and Cyborg. I mean, that's what it boiled down to, was whose punches had more behind it. And naturally, Cyborg's punches had more behind it than Holly's. Holly did a great job, though. Holly, if you ever watch Sports Scrutiny Live, that was a great performance. I'm definitely going to commend you for that, because, I mean, even winning a couple of the rounds, and being Cyborg's first, decision fight. So that was great. I mean, I give Holly her props.
Yeah, I was reading. Two of the judges had it the same. We talked about this earlier. Two of the
Mm-hmm.
judges actually had Holly winning the first and second round. I
Right.
didn't see it that way. You saw it that way. I didn't
I
see it
saw
that
it that
way.
way. Mm-hmm.
But one of the judges then had it the same as I had it. They had Cyborg 10-9, 10-10-10, and then Holly Holm at the 9, and then she won the second round, obviously. It was a unanimous decision. The fight didn't go exactly as I thought it was going to be. I knew Cyborg was going to ultimately win, but it was a good fight. I enjoyed watching. I enjoyed watching.
And also, she answers. Not only did she answer the question about can she fight 5 hard rounds, but she answered the question because the biggest question everybody was saying was how is Cyborg gonna deal with somebody as technical as. We'll get back to that, but she answered that. She showed everybody, hey, if no matter what you bring at me, you brought Tanya Evinger to me. Tanya Evinger is a ground fighter. You bought Lena Landsberg. You bought Leslie Smith. You bought Holly Holm, who is a 13-time world champion boxer. So she showed right there I can stand and trade with the best of them. That's why a lot of people wish they could have seen her versus Jermaine Durandam. But what
And
a
I got
lot
one
of
word.
people,
One word that I used our show 2 weeks ago. There was one word that I told you about Cyborg. The reason why
what's
she's the
that?
best right now.
What's that?
Adaptive. She's the
Yes,
best.
you did
She
say that.
is the best female fighter because she is the best at adapting to the fight.
As much as I hate to say this, I'm gonna have to agree with you. Just I hate to say that, but a lot of people when they announced that Holly was fighting Cyborg, a lot of people were like, we know, well, people were saying Holly was going to win, and they were saying that a lot of people were discrediting a lot of the people on Cyborg's resume, and when I thought, when you first think, you're like, okay, yeah, she's fighting Holly Holm. But then then when you hear someone say, "Well, she hasn't ever fought anyone like Holly Holm," then you get to thinking, has who has Cyborg fought? And that was the thing. That was the biggest question that I asked myself. So I go back and I look through how Cyborg's resume. Cyborg's resume is stacked.
She's never
Her
said no.
resume, yeah, I mean, her resume is. I mean, she's got people by the names of. I mean, big names. She's got Shayna Baszler on her. She's got Shayna Baszler on her resume. She's got Gina Carano. Gina Carano was the Cyborg. Like Gina Carano was one of the most dominant featherweight MMA fighters for women that have ever existed. She was like the trailblazer for women's MMA. And Gina Carano was. Fun fact about Gina: she was one of the first. She was the first American to win a Japanese, if I'm not mistaken, a Japanese Muay Thai competition, become a world champion in Japan in Muay Thai. So Gina Carano is one of the elite as far as strikers in women's MMA. She's got Marlos. She fought Marlos Conan twice. Marlos Conan, she's retired now. She retired out of Bellator. Force days and early women's UFC days, Marlos Conan was. I mean, she was one of the elite fighters back then. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of past Marlos's time. She retired when she fought for the title in Bellator, but she fought Marlos Conan twice, defeated her both times. Marlos drug her all the way to the fourth round. So
Yeah, we
I mean,
talked
she's
about
got
that. Talked about that.
Finney. I mean, she's got Charmaine Tweet. Charmaine Tweet. She's got Faith Van Duen. She's got Daria and Magrabova. I mean, Ibrahimova. She's got Leslie Smith, Tanya Evans, Jelena Landsberg, and now she adds Holly Holm to the resume. I mean, Cyborg is she's planning on being around for a long time. What you think, Rob?
I don't think there's anybody fighting right now that's gonna be fighting right now. Somebody might come out of the the gyms, the underground gyms. They might come out sometime with how we don't know how long the application process actually works for either the UFC or other other sports. But I don't think there's any current fighter that's gonna beat her. I really don't.
And a lot of people agree with you. A lot of people agree with that. We've been hearing that a lot. Some people think if Holly couldn't do it, nobody can do it because Holly is like she's the beast killer. She beat Ronda Rousey, the beast. So everyone
Then
thought that. Go ahead.
then she turned around and got whipped by Misha Tate.
Valentina and Jermaine. They all three
Yeah.
beat her. But anyways, that brings me to this next point that I was going to make. So after Cyborg gets her first title defense after they and still
Right.
they ask her. Of course, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is one. Let me tell you about Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is one of he can be petty sometimes. Joe Rogan it can be very petty
Oh
sometimes.
yeah, and he makes it obvious.
Oh yeah, very obvious. So he, of course, everybody was talking about, and Joe Rogan has talked about it on his show about Megan Anderson pulling out of the fight with Cyborg. But and so he asked Cyborg who's next, and knowing Cyborg is going to say Megan Anderson because Megan Anderson is the only person left right now who's at the top of her game. Who she's on like a four or five, let me see what kind of knockout streak Megan Anderson is on. I have it pulled up here. Charmaine Tweet. She knocked out Peggy Morgan. She knocked out Amanda Bell. She knocked out Amber Libra. I mean, she's knocked out. Her last loss was to Cindy Dandua mission. So she's been tearing up this Invicta for a while. And Megan's at the top of her game. I've talked about Megan on the show before. She's a big girl. Only lost twice in her professional career. And she's the last person left that has a puncher's chance of beating Cyborg. And someone who's bigger than Cyborg, someone who might be stronger than Cyborg, who has a longer reach than Cyborg, that could possibly promote some problems for Megan. For Cyborg. Megan hits hard. She hits a lot harder to me than I think she hits harder than Holly Holm. So she's knocking these girls out, just like Cyborg's knocking these girls out. So that's about the only person left. You ask me, unless
Hopefully,
Ronda comes
I
back.
mean, that really is the only person left. But that would be fun if Ronda came back. That'd be fun.
I doubt that would ever happen. Her coach Edmund Taverdian is trying to get Ronda to fight Cyborg, and even Cyborg said no. Like, if I ever fight Ronda, she was like, Ronda's got to get some tune-up fights in because Ronda needs a couple fights to get back ready for me because I'm going to knock her ass out.
That's probably what
That's
Bisping
what
was
she
saying
thinks.
about GSP.
Man, leave Bisping alone. Also, on
Yeah,
the
Rena
UFC
champion.
290,
That's what he is.
the
Bisping,
former champ. He is
the
the
Rena
former
champion.
champion.
He ain't no former
He
champion.
is.
He's just the Rena champion.
Well, at least he didn't
He
vacate his
just
title. At least he fought. At least he
that don't
fought and
even
lost
matter.
his
That
title.
don't even matter.
At least
He didn't even earn
vacate his
his
title.
title properly. I
At
saw
least he
that fight.
didn't. At least he didn't vacate his title. At least he.
No, but he stole his title.
Hey,
He didn't earn it.
he can't help how he got in. He got in. He was at the top of his game.
He
That's
wasn't
why he
at the
got
top.
it.
He lost that fight. He lost the fight. But no, they gave it to him.
You talking about which fight you talking about?
When you fought Silva.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah,
He lost
did.
that fight.
He did lose to
Silva
Anderson
beat
Silva.
his ass, but they still gave him
But
the
he
belt.
had to fight. But look who he had to fight though. He had to fight Dan Henderson. He had to fight Luke Rockhold. I mean, come on, man.
The only reason he won was because Dana was tired of Silva winning all the time. That's the only reason.
But you gotta look at who he fought though.
It don't matter who you fought before. All that matters is if you perform during a championship fight. I could fight nobody, and if I go in there and I beat somebody's ass and they still give him the belt, I'm gonna be pissed.
So in other words, you don't think Daniel Cormier is the real champion then?
Well, yeah, because that's different. Dude cheated. You cheated.
Okay.
John Jones cheated. It's
He did.
different
He
when
did.
it's
He
different
did.
when you have the president of the company influencing the damn ref's decision or the judge's decisions. Because if you watch that Silva fight versus Bisping, Bisping lost. I remember watching that fight.
He did lose. He did lose.
He got beat. He was getting slapped around. Silva was just playing with him. I think he connected with Silva maybe twice the whole fight.
Yeah, it was pretty sketchy. Sometimes the judges' scores can be very sketchy. Sometimes you can't leave it up to the judges. Sometimes you have to finish the fight. So that's what a lot of people try to do. But speaking of Daniel Cormier and John Jones, he getting cleared this month.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. No, I think it's next month. Isn't
Is
it
it next month?
February? I think it's February.
Might be February.
Yeah,
He might be cleared, and if he gets
for real.
cleared, do you think Dane, because he still has to fight Arlovsky, so Daniel Cormier has to fight Andre Arlovsky. Period.
All I'm saying is if he does come back, they
But
better drug test him every day.
fuck all of this fucking. Let's get in the fight. Let's put all this money in pay per view. Let's get everybody hyped up, and then we pop him
For what?
for steroids. Yeah, like come on.
Honestly, I think that they should just let the athletes use steroids. It's entertainment anyways. You might as well let them put on a real show.
No, dude, that's people's lives at stake, man. You can't let
Man,
people.
so what? They signed up for it. They're making millions of dollars.
But you can't let people go in there like
They're
Superman
making
all
millions of dollars. If one person can use steroids, let the other person use steroids. They'll both be tough. It'll be like a train running into a train.
well, it's a good thing that you are not in charge, that you are not on the commission committee.
Right, because
Shit.
I would allow not pure steroids, but I wouldn't ban as many um
Steroids.
growth as many testosterone or hormonal growth, whatever that whatever they ban too many shit in the damn in the NFL. They ban everything, and the UFC they ban everything. NBA they ban everything. It's just like, come on,
You
let
gotta
these
keep
people.
it fair, man. You gotta
I
keep it
know, but I'm
fair. You
saying
can't have
it's
somebody. You can't
entertainment.
have one person,
At the end of the
but you
day,
can't have
it's entertainment. It's like back in the day with gladiators. It's just that's all it is. It's entertainment. They
but
make millions.
gladiators didn't use steroids.
Gladiators died, bro. They killed them at the end. They didn't need steroids. They just
No, they
died.
didn't
And
need.
back
They
then,
didn't need
they
them.
didn't have weights and stuff. They were like naturally strong. They were made. They were men were made like brick houses back then. But anyways, I'm
If
saying
I wonder if it's true that back in gladiators they used to really bring out
like what?
like big ass animals. Like did they
Fuck,
really
hell
bring out
yeah,
like
hell yeah,
big
they did.
ass animals?
Lions and tigers and jaguars and shit. Hell yeah. And you'd have to fight the tigers while fighting somebody else.
Yeah, like I wonder if that was real, man.
We should start doing that now. Nah, somebody will call
Oh,
PETA.
hey live chat. We got some yeah, we got some
I'm
live
thinking
chat going on.
they just need to start just like in the NFL. I almost don't even want to watch it anymore because they're so soft. You can't even hit people anymore without getting a flag or getting $100,000 penalty or somebody ripping an ankle or somebody's leg breaking in half or someone getting a concussion.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that
watched
is true.
I forget what game it was, but a quarterback literally fell to the ground and his head hit the ground and they took him into the concussion tent. Like a
Man, he
lineman
probably
hit him.
his head probably bounced off the ground or something, man. Yeah,
It
I mean,
didn't.
come
I
on,
watched the
man.
replay. It didn't. That don't even matter. Shut up. Even if your head bounces off the ground, that don't mean you have to go get checked for concussions. These NFL players are sissies. The only real players that are out there now are the defensive tackles and the offensive linemen. Everybody else is a diva, a bitch. I don't care who they are. I'll tell them to their face. Their ankles getting broken, ACLs getting torn, collarbones breaking left and right. You can't hit a wide receiver because he's touching the ball. Can't do
You
nothing.
can't you can barely sack a quarterback.
Yeah, you can't do that. Don't hit Tom Brady. He'll go to prison.
That's Tom Brady is the new Kobe Bryant of the NFL.
He been to Kobe Bryant.
You
Bunch
put
of
your hands on
divas.
Kobe Bryant, you know you getting a technical foul.
Now
You
speaking of
know it.
Kobe Bryant, there was one video, and I know you've probably seen it, where Tim Duncan was gonna pass a ball inbounds, and he faked it at Kobe's face, and Kobe just stared him straight down, didn't even move, nothing. Oh man, that was sick. That was sick. That was hard right there. But again,
I
back to these
peeped that.
soft ass fucking NFL players, man. I'm sick of all these. I'm sick. I almost don't even want to watch it. And then they just re-signed Roger Goodell last month. Gave him like $200 million in a private jet. Like what? Why? He's a terrible
Hey
commissioner.
man.
He's made the NFL weak.
Hey, he's bringing in the money. But
Don't don't.
hold on. Before we change subject, I got one more topic to talk about when it comes to MMA. Then we'll switch over to NFL. So UFC 219 also held the return of the Middle Eastern monster Khabib Nurmagomedov. So
What's his last name?
Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Say it again.
Nurmagomedov.
Say it faster.
Oh, I can't say it, man.
Namaga. I can't even. Wait, what
Nurmagomedov.
was it
It's
again? Namaga Madoff.
Nurmagomedov. Man,
Namaga Madoff.
dog, for real, we can't laugh at Khabib's name like that because if Khabib showed up, like, I'm not fighting Khabib. I'm straight up calling
I ain't
SWAT
worried
on
about no
Khabib.
fighter. I ain't worried about him because you know what? If he touches me, I'm gonna be a millionaire.
You might be, but I ain't trying to get hit by Khabib. Dude,
Oh, I ain't
Khabib,
worried. It'll just be one hit. I'll let him hit me and
after
I'll pretend I'm dead.
telling you, just one time, dude, and I'm out. But Khabib, 18 months. He was sick. He had injuries, this and that. He was supposed to fight Conor. It didn't happen. And everybody, so he comes back against Edson Barbosa. I think Edson Barbosa is the number one contender. I'm not mistaken, because Edson and Khabib is the number two contender. You have Tony Ferguson, who's the interim champ. Then you have Conor McGregor, who's the champ.
How is he the number two contender? He's been gone 18 months.
Because Khabib is 25. Khabib, before this fight, Khabib was 25-0. That's how he's number two contender. Khabib Nurmagomedov is 25-0.
So
So
is he gonna
he
fight
steps in.
Connor?
I'm getting to that. He steps into the ring. He steps into the ring with Edson Barboza and puts on a dominant performance. And when I say dominant, I mean dominant. He looked a little sloppy on his stand up. It's like he was kind of chasing Edson Barboza a little bit. Looked a little rusty there. But Khabib has a tendency to just maul people, like maul people. And he mauled Edson Barboza to the point where Edson could do absolutely nothing to defend Khabib's offense. It was bloody. It was brutal. It was hard hits, hard shots. That was a great display of Khabib Nurmagomedov. That's exactly what he needed to get back into the UFC. He said this was one of his best, most comfortable weight cuts. And he looked really, really good Saturday night. So hopefully, what you with when you have an interim champion and then a champion that's not an inactive champion, the interim champion and the champion are to fight, and rumors are that Tony Ferguson and Conor McGregor are fighting in March. So that's going to be a huge card, huge card. Tony Ferguson fight, whoever wins between that fight, the person
Real
that'll be
quick, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win?
between Tony Ferguson and Conor McGregor. Oh, probably Tony Ferguson. And I say Tony Ferguson because Tony has been active. I mean, Tony's been fighting, he clawed his way to where he's at now. He fought Kevin Lee, which he shouldn't have really been fighting Kevin Lee for the interim title, but he fought Kevin Lee, got the interim title. But he may beat Conor McGregor because Conor McGregor's been inactive since
I
he
don't
fought.
think I don't think him being inactive is gonna make a big difference because Conor McGregor, I still believe, is the most talented fighter in that division.
Well, see, like what Khabib said, just because you win, you fight one time at lightweight and win, you beat the champion, that doesn't make you the best fighter
No, I don't
in
think he's
that
the best
division.
fighter in the division. I think he's the most talented. His raw
He,
talent is impeccable.
oh yeah, absolutely. But I would in that division, I would have to say Khabib Nurmagomedov would be
Oh,
the
probably.
most
I think
talented.
Khabib would beat him, but I'm still thinking in March. I think Conor comes out on top.
And he very well may beat Tony Ferguson.
Also,
But I could
I would rather Conor win against Tony and then Conor face beat.
Me too. Me too. I would rather see that, but realistically speaking, it's probably going to be. Realistically speaking, I don't know. Anyways, I really don't know about that one. We just have to kind of see how that plays out. But whoever wins that fight will get the two fight Khabib Nurmagomedov, and I
Right.
hope to God that it ain't Conor. Like I really hope Conor. I really don't want to see Conor get humiliated like Khabib would humiliate Conor McGregor.
I
I
don't
mean,
think
he
he would
would.
humiliate him.
You don't think Khabib
I
Nurmagomedov would
think
humiliate
I
Conor
think he would
McGregor?
beat him, but not humiliate him.
Woo, woo. He's humiliated everybody
Yeah,
else
but
he's fought.
Connor's too good. He's too smart. He's too smart. Like
You
you saw
think
how tough
so?
he was against Diaz. He's tough and he's smart and he's got talent. Like everybody talks a lot of shit about Connor because he runs his mouth a lot. But if you look at
Mm-hmm.
his skill as he was coming up, he's a very skillful fighter and he's smart. Like yeah, he'll talk a lot of shit, but if you look at his face when he starts the fight, you could tell that he knows what his plan was. And I don't think he'll be embarrassed. I think he'll probably still lose against Khabib, but I don't think he'll get embarrassed. It ain't gonna be no 2 hits and done. It ain't gonna be a sweep on the card if it goes the distance. I think it'll be a good
You don't
fight.
think he would?
I don't think he'll
You
sweep
don't
him.
think Conor? You don't? You think Conor could last 5 rounds with Khabib Nurmagomedov?
If that was what he was planning to do, I think so, yeah. I think it would be
Woo.
a lot. I think it would if Connor's the champion, it'll be a little bit like the Holly Holm and Cyborg fight,
Okay.
where Khabib is Cyborg and Connor is Holly Holm. It wouldn't be an embarrassment, but it would still be a definite loss.
You think that it'll be a definite loss? You think Khabib would definitely lose against Conor McGregor?
No, that's not what I said.
What did you
Cyborg beat
say?
Holly Holm. So
Okay.
Khabib would be like Cyborg. He would definitely get the win. It wouldn't be a dominating win. It wouldn't be like, oh, you just destroyed Connor. But
Mm-hmm.
he would get the definite W at the end. No question.
I
Like there
believe
was there
so
was
too.
no there was no question that Cyborg didn't beat Holly Holm. I mean,
No,
it
there
was
was
clear.
no.
It was
It
clear.
was very clear. It was very
And
clear.
that's what I'm saying. I think Khabib would have a very clear victory over Conor McGregor. I just don't think he'll embarrass him.
But it's going to be a good one, you know. And now you got Eddie Alvarez thrown back up in the mix
Yeah.
after beating Justin Gaethje. You have Eddie Alvarez, who was the former champion, who
Yep.
lost his belt to Conor, back up in the mix now. So who do you? I mean,
I think
the 2018. There's going to be two, maybe three divisions in 2018 huge, and that's going to be the women's featherweight division, the men's lightweight division, and the heavyweight division. Those divisions are going.
2018, 2018 for the women's, the number one goal is beating Cyborg, and that's going to be huge. Because if Cyborg loses in the next year, whoever beats her is going to be like under the lights heavy. Whether it's
Yeah,
me, Megan, or somebody else that's going to come up. If they beat Cyborg, they're going to be under the lights heavy. And then honestly, I've been thinking about it and watching the Eddie Alvarez fight against Conor McGregor again. Eddie just played into Conor's hand. Like he just, I don't know what his game plan was, but he just totally
he
blew
got
it.
in.
Like
He got it. He got into Eddie's head. He's got it. He got
so
into Eddie's head.
yeah. So what I'm thinking is, I don't want to see a Diaz Conor fight again. I want to see an Alvarez
They.
McGregor fight.
I want to thank you. I'm glad you're not the only person to say that. I want to see because Eddie Alvarez is very violent when he fights. Like most of Eddie Alvarez's fights are violent fights. You know, like the fight with Justin Gaethje, like the fight he had before that. I forgot who he fought. Very violent. He's known for violent fighting, and he just like he
I
froze in
think
there with Conor
I think
McGregor.
almost he was a little bit scared. I'm gonna be honest. I think there was a little bit of fear when he was fighting Connor because there was all that
I
talk
think so
about
too.
Connor. Oh, that one shot, one shot, one shot, one shot. Don't let him hit you. Don't let him hit you. You know, he hits hard. He hits hard,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, he does. He hits really hard, but I think Eddie was almost too intimidated.
I think so too. I think it got into his head. Now you see on the opposite side what it does when you don't let Conor get in your head, and that's for a prime example. Nate Diaz did not let Conor get in his
Yeah, he
head.
didn't care. You can't get in Nate
Right?
Diaz's head. He doesn't give a shit.
No, no. He
He
that's
just
you
wants to.
can't.
He just wants to fight.
You can't beat somebody at their own game. The
Yeah.
Diaz brothers' game is fucking up their opponent's mindset, getting in their opponent's heads, and
Especially Nick.
pretty much,
Nick more than Nate.
especially he's
Nick
terrible.
Nick
Yeah,
Nick is an
especially
asshole when it comes to that shit.
when Nick fought Anderson Silva, even though he lost that fight, when he fought Anderson Silva, he
Yeah.
trolled Anderson Silva
Oh yeah.
so bad,
Yeah.
so bad. But anyways, I would love to see. Great point with the Eddie Alvarez Conor McGregor thing, dude. That was what I've been saying for as long as I can remember. Everybody's like, no, we don't want to see Eddie Alvarez. No, it's just what this
I
Conor
think the
thing
outcome
just.
would be different.
I think the outcome will be different too because it was just like this Conor thing just like when Conor blew up, you know, and nobody really cared who Eddie Alvarez was. Like if you're not like a MMA fan, like if you don't follow the UFC, know who somebody throws the name Eddie Alvarez at you, you wouldn't really know who that was. So people were really discrediting Eddie Alvarez, and then Eddie kind of played into that when he got into the octagon scared, got humiliated, and he made Conor look like the best. You know what I'm saying? And that then Nate, I was glad to see Conor lose against Nate Diaz. Honestly, I really was. I was happy to see that, and not because I don't like Conor. I just really like Nate Diaz, and I am a real fan of mixed martial arts, and I watch it, and I've been watching it for a long time. And I know what kind of fighters these guys are. Conor kind of rose to the top very quickly in the UFC because of his trash talking, but I mean, you got some guys in there that's been pioneering this thing for years. For Conor McGregor.
See, what it was with Connor was he was funny with his mouth, and that's what put him under the light, and that's what put him under the scope. And yes,
Mm-hmm.
he did back it up. Honestly, I wish I'd have seen a rematch against him and Jose Aldo before anything else. I wish he would have immediately went and signed up for a second fight because I guarantee you,
Mm-hmm.
if Aldo would have done another training camp, there wouldn't have been a mistake because that wasn't a real fight. Honestly, you can't say.
No.
I mean, you can say because you got the W, you knocked him out. But in my mind,
Right.
you aren't the best because you got a lucky shot. Because he did hit you. He hit Connor the same exact time that he got hit.
He hit Connor just as flush as Connor hit
Yep,
him.
the
I think
exact
he
same.
may have I think he may have hit Connor harder. I really do
Maybe,
think he
maybe.
may have hit Connor harder, but Connor caught him in the right spot.
I just think Connor threw the punch the way that he did, knowing he was going to get hit. Jose Aldo threw the
Right.
punch not knowing he was going to get hit. He didn't think Connor was going to throw a punch. That's what I think it
Mm-hmm.
was. Because when you don't know something's coming, that's when you usually get knocked out. When you don't expect something coming to hit you in the chin or hit you in the side of the head or hit you in the eye or the cheek, you don't see it. That's usually
Right.
when you get knocked out.
Yeah, that's
But
that's about right.
I think they should have immediately went straight into a rematch, Connor versus Jose Aldo, and I think it would have been different. But that's long gone. Jose Aldo, he's not washed up yet, but he's over his prime.
He went toe to toe with Max Holloway. Nice. And that was really good fighting between him and Max Holloway. But we all know that Max is the champ now for the featherweights. It's gonna be interesting to see what he's got coming up next. Last but not least, for the MMA talk, though, we got woo-hoo-hoo. Okay, so early part of December, you have Alistair Overeem, because you really don't hear much about those guys. You see a lot of heavyweight fights, but those guys have such long layoffs because most of those fights are knockouts, and these guys take a lot of damage. These guys take a lot of damage during those fights because these are the most dangerous guys in the world. First of all, Sports Scrutiny watchers right now, hit the like button. We need your likes. Hit the like button. Please hit it for us. Anyways, those guys take a lot of damage. That's the most dangerous division in the UFC is the men's heavyweight division. very dangerous
I don't know. I think
division.
that the most dangerous division is probably the one with Thug Rose.
The strawweights, dude. Man, don't get me started on Thug Rose, yo. Thug Rose, man. Have you noticed Rose kind of wins the belt and then she just kind of lays low? Like Thug Rose ain't all out. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to be this. Thug Rose is chilling. Like I love the way she does her thing. Like I really do admire Thug Rose. Maybe one day, guys, we'll get Thug Rose on here. Somebody like Thug Rose, and we'll have that huge interview. Huge interview. But
Back to the heavyweight.
so Francis Ngannou, huge heavyweight, huge guy, out UFC veteran, made his pro debut in 1999. Alistair Overeem. Alistair Overeem has fought who? He's the former Strikeforce heavyweight champion. He's the former UFC heavyweight champion. So Alistair Overeem is still he's in his prime. Like it's like his prime never ended, you know. He's had some losses.
He's just tough.
I think his record's like 42 and something. Like his record is amazing. Like it's crazy how much he's fought. But he gets bulldozed by Francis Ngannou. It was probably that knockout will probably go down in history as the knockout of all time. Like I'm not even joking. That will
I
probably
don't
go
think it's
down.
the greatest.
Come on, what? What?
Holly Holm,
What?
Ronda
No,
Rousey.
the most.
Come on,
No,
dude.
that's probably
You
like
got to think about the
that was
situation.
probably
No, you got to think about the situation. And if you're gonna say that's the best underdog, no, it's not. It's
no,
not.
no. What I was gonna say was that was probably the most. Ronda Rousey's knockout was probably the most shocking knockout ever. But this knockout was like the most technical. Ever wanted an
You don't
uppercut
think
to
Holly Holm was
land.
technical? She hit like
It's like,
86%.
but what I'm no, listen to what I'm saying. Like it was the most.
Everything she
Like,
threw, Ronda Rousey caught with her mouth.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying Holly's not technical. I'm saying like that was like the best thrown uppercut. Like if you ever wanted an uppercut to land, that was the uppercut that should land every time. Like that was like the textbook showing of how to throw a proper uppercut. He caught Alistair Overeem. Alistair didn't see that coming.
I'm gonna have to see this.
He didn't see it coming. Francis knocked Alistair Overeem out so bad. Anyways, Francis took no damage in that fight. He didn't get hit one time,
When was
not
that fight?
once. That fight was earlier this month. He
Okay.
did not get hit. He did not get hit one time. So he moves on to whoever wins that. Whoever was to win that fight is going to get a shot at Stipe Miocic. So that's awesome. I'm ready to see what kind of strategy. Stipe is a champion. He's knocked out Alistair Overeem. So both Francis Ngannou and Stipe Miocic are on knockout streak. I think Stipe's is like 5, and I think every fight that Francis Ngannou has fought in the UFC and in his professional career have been knockouts. If I'm not mistaken, I may be wrong on that, but it's going to be interesting to see what kind of strategy Miocic employs to try and to avoid the power and the technique of someone like Francis Ngannou. Because Stipe is a smaller guy. If you look at Stipe, he's not like, I don't know. It's hard to explain his physique. Like when you look at Francis Ngannou, he looks like a imposing beast. Well, like he looks like a water buffalo coming towards you, like a water
Water
buffalo.
buffalo. What made you
I'm
come up with
serious,
that? Water
dude.
buffalo.
Dude, I'm not lying. He looks like a
What
water
even what
buffalo.
I know, but what made you come up with that in?
I just had to think of something that was big and black, and that's a water buffalo.
Water buffaloes aren't black though. They're like gray, brown.
Man, the buffaloes that the lions hunt down in Africa are water buffaloes.
No.
Well, whatever buffalo, African buffaloes. Those is what he looked like.
Why not just like a ram or a rhino?
He looks like a very big animal. Not saying he looks like an animal, but you would think of like if someone coming to like stepping in the ring with somebody like Francis Ngannou, like I would be like, we can talk about it. You know what
I
I'm
need to I
saying?
need to I need to know how much I'm getting paid.
Dude, you go have to pay me to get in there with somebody like Francis Ngannou. But like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see what kind of strategy Stipe employs. Because Stipe's good at what he does. He's gonna have to avoid the power of Francis Ngannou. That's the only if he can avoid the power and crack Francis for one good time, like Stipe is gonna have to crack him. Like he's gonna have to because Francis has been cracked. He's been cracked. You know, he's been hit. So if Stipe can get around the hailstorm that's coming towards him, and I, we may see and still, but then again, it may be and new. You never know. But that's all I got for the MMA side of things, guys. Catch you up on what was going on. That right, Rob?
Yeah. Wait, what'd you say?
Oh no, I was just saying, just catching them up on the sides. What's been going on lately with the MMA world?
Oh, I got you. I'm still trying to find this uh, fight. I
You
want to see
should
that. I want to see that knockout.
telling you, dude. It was insane. Let me see if I can send you the link to it real quick.
I found it here. Just waiting for it to play.
Man, it was devastating knockout.
Yeah,
I
UFC
think
two
it's
UFC 218.
I don't know if it was 218. It might have been 218. No, it was a fight night.
Oh, it's UFC
No,
218.
it was 218. It was 218. You're right.
Those are some big guys.
You see what I mean? Those guys are huge, man. I could it's no it's Francis towers over Stipe. Like I don't think he's towers over Stipe. I think they're the same height, but Stipe just looks like a slimmer physique. Like like Francis has huge traps and his biceps, his shoulders are huge. Like his pecs are huge, his biceps are huge, his triceps are huge. Like he's chiseled, and Stipe just looks like a really in shape guy. Like that's kind of what I see when you look at Stipe, like a really like in shape guy.
Right.
But Francis Ngannou, man, he's like the water buffalo, man. I'm telling you.
All right. Let's get back to the show. We're talking about buffaloes and animals and shit.
Let's do it.
This is what we got going on for everybody that lives under a rock. The NFL playoffs are started. I mean, we have the bracket; it's ready. I mean, obviously the games haven't started yet, but we're in the playoffs. And joining us in the playoffs is the Buffalo Bills. Of all the teams that you would have thought, it's it's the Buffalo Bills. Now, what was shocking was see the Ravens and the Bills ended with the exact same record across the board. They had the same amount of division wins, the same amount of division losses, the same record. The only difference was, unfortunately for the Ravens, what I
Mhm.
believe to be the tiebreaker was the Ravens lost. It was the last game of the season. I think that's what they did to determine the tiebreaker because
Oh, excuse me.
there
My
was
bad.
the only thing. Bless you. At the end, it was an amazing game. I don't know if you guys watched it. I watched the second half of the Bengals versus the Ravens, and with like 37 seconds left, the Bengals they just needed a field goal to tie. It was 24-27, and they were at like the 50-yard line or something like that, and it was third down, and they throw the ball, and it was like scripted almost because I forget who caught the ball, but the Bengals wide receiver catches the ball and he cuts the corner like He's facing towards the quarterback, and he turns to his left, breaks a tackle, and then runs towards the sideline and just barely dodges three Ravens. Like they should have. I couldn't believe they didn't dive and like push him out of bounds. And instead of running out of bounds, he just ballets right past them, right up the sidelines, and then cuts into the middle and dodges another Raven and scores. So the
Yep,
Bills,
just like that.
the Bills need to really thank Cincinnati because had Cincinnati lost, the Ravens would be in the playoffs right now because they would be 10-6, and the Bills needed the Ravens to lose, and the Bengals pulled through with them. So now the Bills will be playing against the Jags in the first round, the wild card round. Um, that's going to be interesting. The Titans got a spot also. The
How you think
Tennessee.
that's gonna go? How you think that's gonna go?
Oh, the Bills don't stand a chance. The Buffalo Bills don't stand a chance against the Jags.
But the
I
Bills have
think
been impressive this year, though. You got to give it up for
I,
the Bills.
it doesn't matter. They don't stand a chance
It's
against the
their
Jacksonville
first time.
Jaguars.
It's their first time making it in the playoffs since 1999.
Yeah, I know, which is why they don't stand a chance. The Jags defense is way too good, way too fast, way too powerful, and the Bills won't be able to stop the run. Jacksonville is still, I think they're still first in rushing. They ended the season first in rushing, I think, and they still have. I think they're number two in defense right now. Minnesota, the past few games, they moved up in the defense. Minnesota Vikings, they have a really good defense the past few weeks. But honestly, I think the Jags are going to beat them 30-13. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars will get 30. The Buffalo Bills maybe get 13, probably less. There's just not enough. There's not enough going on at the Bills. There's not enough going on there. I mean, they got the hype that they're excited. They did it for the city and whatnot. But honestly, hype can only take you so far. And I think the Jacksonville Jaguars just have way too much talent.
That's what I say about Conor
It's, it's
McGregor
just
too.
not it's just not enough going on. But back to we got the Titans and the Chiefs. Oh, the Chiefs, God, they were so hot for so long, and then they just fell. But still, they were all always destined to make the playoffs. No matter how many times they lost, it wasn't until like week 13 and 14 when the Los Angeles Chargers really started coming up that everybody was starting to say, "Oh, maybe the Chargers will get it. Maybe the Chargers will get it. Maybe the Chargers will get it." But the Chiefs still held on, so they got their bid. I'm pretty sure they're fourth. The Titans are fifth. The Bills are sixth. The Jags are third. Obviously, the Patriots and the Steelers are 1 and 2. But Titans and Chiefs. I think the Chiefs take this one. Um, I think as much as I like Marcus Mariota, he's an Oregon Duck. I um I don't think they could do it. I think even with the sloppy defensive work that the Chiefs have displayed these past few games, um, hence the Denver game in Week 16, uh, I don't think the Titans will pull through. I think the Chiefs take the first week of the playoffs, 21-17, and I'm gonna keep it close because I don't think Alex Smith will perform. I don't think he'll perform like he can. I think he's going to be the
You don't
weak.
think you don't think he'll be dominant?
I don't think so. No, I think Kareem Hunt is going to carry the team, the offensive workload. I think he's going to really stand out in the wild card. Um, he might end with like 2 touchdowns, probably 100 some yards. But I think the weakest link is going to be Alex Smith. I think he's going to probably throw 2 interceptions. One of them, I'm thinking, with the way that the Titans play, they really like to do like spy zones that
Hmm.
I've noticed the past few weeks. So I'm thinking they might even get a pick six off of Alex Smith. But I think Alex Smith is going to be the weakest link. But still, the Chiefs will pull it out. And on the other side of the NFL, in the NFC, we got Falcons and Rams and Panthers and Saints. Now, um, early in the season, I always thought that the NFC South was the hardest division. You
Okay.
got the Falcons, Panthers, Saints, and the Tampa Bay Bucks. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, unfortunately, they were in and out of suspensions and injuries throughout the whole season. Take away the
Whole
suspensions, take
season
away the
long.
injuries, take away all the suspensions and injuries. We would have had Jameis Winston. We would have had Doug Martin. We would have had um, Mike Evans, all all hot all season. That would have been the toughest. It still is the toughest division, but that would have been the toughest division in probably NFL history. Because already you got the Falcons sitting at 10-6, you got the Panthers and the Saints both at 11-5, and the Saints actually got the bid higher because of their divisional record. But had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers actually stayed on track, they would have been maybe 10 victories as well. But they are the only division with three teams above 600, and they have three. They have three teams in the playoffs. They have three teams in the playoffs. They got. I mean, the Panthers and the Saints are going at it. The Falcons and the Rams are going at it. I don't think the Falcons stand a chance against the Rams. I think the Rams are going to just totally destroy the Falcons. I think the Falcons maybe get 17 points. Maybe get it might even be less than that. But the Rams are gonna destroy them. The Rams are gonna put up 40 on them. I think the Falcons maybe two touchdowns. The Rams are gonna go 40 plus. It's gonna be embarrassing.
40 plus. That's a bold statement. That's a
It's the
very
hottest.
bold
It's
statement,
the hottest
amigo.
offense in the NFL. They're just that good.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be a huge blowout. And then the Panthers and the Saints. I think that's gonna be the NFC. That might as well be the NFC Championship because that game is gonna be fire. That is gonna be awesome. That if you're not gonna watch that game, I feel sorry for you because you need to watch the Panthers and the Saints because the Saints beat the Panthers twice this season. The Saints in Week 3 went to the Carolinas and beat them, destroyed them. It
They
was like
did.
35-10. It was like 35-10.
They did.
And then a couple weeks ago, the Panthers went to New Orleans and they put up a good fight. I think it was like 34-27 or something, maybe closer than that. But that is the reason why I'm gonna give this win to the Panthers. They're gonna be going to New Orleans, but I think Cam Newton, under the stress and the hype of the playoffs, he's gonna
Uh-oh.
carry his team to beat the Saints. Now it's gonna still be close. It's probably I'm thinking the score is gonna be like 31, maybe 34 to like 27 or 28. Obviously, Drew Brees is still going to show up, and they have the two hottest running backs in the NFL right now, um, Ingram and um, I forget that the other running back's name, the rookie. You got him on your fantasy team, but I'm thinking the Panthers. The Panthers take this one. First week in the wild card, the Saints are number 3. Um, the Saints are number 3. The Panthers are 4. No, the Rams are 3. The Falcons are 6. The Saints are 4. The Panthers are 5. Yeah,
You hear me?
I'm thinking. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. You went out on me for a second, but you're back. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna repeat myself. I'm pretty sure
No, you're
you're
good.
close
Go
enough.
ahead, man.
But I mean, a lot of people are gonna be, oh, the Saints are this, the Saints are so hot. They got this, they got that. I mean, they got Michael Thomas, they got Drew Brees, they got the two running backs, the two hottest running backs right now. They got the duo that's just killing it.
Mhm.
But I still think Cam Newton, under the stress and the hype of the playoffs, I think he's gonna show out. He's gonna shine.
It's and I agree with you. And no, the reason I say I agree with you on that is because we've seen him do it all season. He's been up against some pretty tough competition, and we've seen the best of Cam Newton. He showed why he is who he is. And I mean, another successful season, another successful run, you know. So you got to give credit where credit is due. Cam deserves the credit.
And I gotta say, the reason for that is I know the Panthers. didn't play very well the past few weeks. But the thing about it was, or is, early in the season, the Panthers went into Foxborough and they beat Tom Brady and the Patriots. Now everybody's gonna say that the Patriots defense it was shitty back then. Early in the season, they had a terrible defense. But during that game, defense was actually was on point. Cam Newton made plays in Foxborough to beat the Patriots. That was a big step for him, I think. I mean, if he can get back to playing like that, he'll have no
Mm-hmm.
problem against Drew Brees and the Saints. But another thing about the Panthers is they willed their way back to take that number 2 spot away from the Falcons in that division. The Saints are 11-5, the Panthers are 11-5, and the Falcons are 10-6. And even though I believe the Falcons beat the Patriots, or the Falcons beat the Panthers. I don't think they have to worry about that because the Falcons aren't going to make it past the Rams.
You
Because
don't think
first
the
of all,
Falcons are gonna make it past the Rams?
the Falcons are
Ooh,
not going to make it past the Rams.
ooh.
The Rams are too hot right now. They got Todd Gurley, who is probably should get the MVP because he is wicked. He has I think like 2,500 total yards from scrimmage, or something like that, something crazy, maybe 2,400. But everybody's gonna say, "Oh, Tom Brady this, Tom Brady that." He's 40 years old doing all this nonsense. But Tom Brady has had better seasons and didn't win the MVP. So why just give it to him just because? It doesn't even like everybody's like, "Oh, Carson Wentz this, Carson Wentz that." He got hurt, but maybe he did enough to get it. I don't think so. You got hurt. You didn't play 5 weeks. You don't get to be part of the conversation. But then you got to add Russell Wilson.
That's like giving Aaron Rodgers. That's like giving Aaron Rodgers MVP
Yeah, I mean,
this season.
even though he didn't do his Carson Wentz was way better this year. But Russell Wilson has carried. I mean, they didn't make the playoffs, which was really shocking to me. The Seahawks didn't make the playoffs. I'm surprised that they lost some of the games that they did. But he performed. He carried that team when under so much duress. They had so many injuries on the defensive side. They had injuries on the offensive side. He still showed up. He still showed up. He didn't show up the past few weeks, which might have hurt him in his MVP race. But all season, I mean, he did great. He did great. Honestly, if I was gonna pick one or the other, Tom Brady or Russell Wilson this season for my team, I'd probably take Russell Wilson. To be honest,
Wilson too.
I mean Tom Brady is great. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's great. 5 Super Bowls. I think he's got 2 MVPs. He's phenomenal. But he has had better seasons than this, and he
Yeah,
didn't win. In those seasons, he didn't win the MVP. So why just throw it at him now? It just doesn't make sense to me. And Todd Gurley has man has he helped that Rams team. Jared Goff, he has
do you think he,
transformed that
do
Rams
you
team.
think he's overrated?
Todd Gurley,
No.
Tom Brady,
Yes.
I wouldn't necessarily say overrated. I mean, he's still great. He still has done a lot. He's leading in passing. He's top 3 in completion percentage.
Yeah.
He's a lot of good third down conversions, and he has a ton of fourth quarter or 2 minute drills comebacks. He's still
He
Tom
does.
Brady, but I think it has to do. People are leaning more towards, oh, he beat the Steelers, so it's just like, oh, give it to him. Or, but think about it this way: he lost to the Miami Dolphins. He didn't. He couldn't.
Miami
He
Dolphins.
couldn't. He couldn't perform against the Miami Dolphins defense. Like, think about
That's
that. And then
you're telling the
week
truth.
one, week one in Foxborough, after coming back from the Super Bowl, you get destroyed by the Kansas City Chiefs. It's like if you are really that great, that spectacular, why was everything so? And honestly, everybody's gonna say, well, not everybody, but a lot of people are saying the defense was so bad, Tom Brady had to help them win. That is true, but then it's not true. because
No.
it wasn't as bad. The defense was bad. I mean, they allowed a lot of points, but it's not really all about performance. I mean, it's a strategy throughout the whole game.
Strategy.
I
Yep.
mean, if you want to give somebody if you want to give somebody the MVP because of how they won their games and what had happened, you might as well give it to Bill Belichick because he's the greatest coach ever. He's the great he's the greatest NFL head coach to ever live. I mean, that's people will argue different, saying Madden and Cower and Ditka and all them, but it's no. Bill Belichick has done things that those coaches could never do, and he's done it with people that the only person that has been a constant in the Patriots is Tom Brady. Maybe some of the linemen. I don't know any of the linemen's names, honestly. Who does? But he he creates running backs. He creates
You can't be
wide
talking junk
receivers.
about the linemen, man. We might need one of the linemen on the show one day, man.
I didn't say anything about them. I'm saying that they're tough. I'm just who knows them. I don't know. Do you know any lineman name? Tell me some linemen. Tell me some linemen on the New England Patriots.
You got me, homie.
Exactly. The only lineman I actually know of is Jeff Saturday, and that I think he's retired. But I don't. But I'm saying that's Tom Brady's been the only constant. He's been the only constant on the play in the Patriots, and still Bill Belichick is winning, winning and winning and winning. That's what they do. That's what they're always doing.
Yep.
That's why people hate them so much.
So with all that being said, Rob, it leads me to this question. And I know you are a little more analytical when it comes to football than I am. Asking you this question, I think I'm going to be getting a pretty, and as a matter of fact, I know I'm going to be getting a pretty well educated answer. Who do you think, with all these different equations that go into playing a football game, who do you think is going to take it? Who has the tools right now out of these teams in the playoffs? Who has the tools to take it all the way? Or as a matter of fact, who do you see playing for the Super Bowl? Who do you see playing in the Super Bowl?
Hmm. The Bills are out. The Falcons are out. Um,
It'd be crazy if it was the Bills and the Falcons.
it's not going to be the Bills. And the Falcons. The Bills are out. They can't. They're not going to make it past the Jags. The Falcons aren't going to make it past the Rams. I would say I don't think the Titans will be out only because they have to face the Chiefs first, and then they would have to. If they do beat the Chiefs, they would be playing against the Patriots, and I don't think the Titans will beat the Patriots. So automatically, I'm going to rule out anybody that can't make it past the team they're
So you
playing.
saying you saying the Cowboy, I mean the Panthers are going to be in the Super Bowl.
The Panthers?
Do you think the Panthers are going to be in the Super Bowl?
No, no, the
Boy,
Panthers.
you just pissed off a third of our viewers, man.
I don't know what to tell you. The Panthers will beat the Saints, but when the Panthers go, when the Panthers are going to go play the Eagles after they beat the Saints, and the Panthers will beat the Eagles because the Eagles, what's that dude's name? Something Coles or something like that. Who's their quarterback now? Backup quarterback. I forget his name, but he's going to be the downfall
Backup quarterback.
for the Eagles. But Carson Wentz, if he was still active, the Eagles would be in the Super Bowl. But because Carson Wentz is gone, the Panthers will beat the Saints. Then they'll move on to the second round. The Panthers will beat the Eagles. The Panthers will be in the NFC Championship. The Falcons will not make it past the Rams. Then the Rams will go on and play the Vikings. That is a game that really, I don't know. I can't figure out what I want to decide for that game because the Rams have a great offense, one of the best. I would put money on the Rams offense to play to really show out almost every game. But then you have the Vikings. They have a very consistent offense. Now, the defense have really picked up the past few games. They're averaging like they allow like an average of 13 points per game now. They've been killing it the past few weeks. But the thing about the Vikings is that their offense is very consistent. They they convert on third down. They don't
Nick
see very
Foles.
many third downs.
That was his
And
name, Rob. Rob,
who?
that was his name. Nick Foles. Nick
Nick
Foles.
Foles. Yeah, Foles.
Took me a minute.
Yeah. He's not going to be able to do anything for the. I mean, I think if the Panthers do make it past the Saints, they put on even if either one of those teams against the Eagles is gonna wreck the Eagles.
Oh
The
boy.
Panthers, the Panthers are fourth in rushing, and I believe the Saints are third.
Right?
I believe the Saints are third. I'm not 100% on that, but either one of those teams is gonna wreck the Eagles. The fact and the fact is rushing. That's what they're gonna do. Now the Eagles have a pretty good rushing defense, but the point is they're gonna burn that clock down, and Nick Foles will not be able to score. There won't be
You
enough
think the
time
pressure?
for him.
You think the pressure will be too much for Nick Foles being
I don't
thrown
know.
in this?
I don't think it'll be the pressure. It's either one of those teams. The Panthers or the Saints are going to control the clock against the Eagles because they're
I think
both
I think the skill
strong
level,
rushing. They're
but I think
strong rushing teams.
the skill level between the two teams, with the
No, the Eagles
Eagles.
still have good skills. They just don't have a
Yeah. Oh
leader.
yeah.
They don't have a leader. They rode the wave of Carson Wentz to
Whole
13 wins.
season. That whole season.
Which was fine because he could take the weight. He was performing. He was a wizard. He was magical. But I'm saying the Panthers are a great rushing team. The Saints are a great rushing team. The Saints have a great defense. One of my favorite defenses this season. I mean, I love the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? But I don't think the Eagles will be able to stand up to the rush attack. And Nick Foles, if he does play the Saints, he won't be able to score on them. If he plays the Panthers, he'll maybe score, but he won't have enough time to keep up with the Panthers offense. And then on the other side of it, you got the Falcons and the Rams. The Falcons don't stand a chance against the Rams. The Rams are just gonna Todd Gurley's gonna rush all over the Falcons like they're ants. Like they're just birds. Like, dirty birds is gone. Like, there is no such thing. And Matt Ryan is probably he's gonna have flashbacks of Tom Brady holding up the Super Bowl trophy, and he's just gonna choke. Matty Ice, no, Matty Water. Like he's gonna be so broken. The Rams are gonna destroy the Falcons, and then the Rams will go on to play the Vikings. Like I said, I can't really decide for that. But if I really had to pick four teams to be at the end, I would say it's gonna be Panthers versus Rams. And then I'm thinking on the other side of the ball, we got the Jags going to beat the Bills. I'm pretty sure the Chiefs are going to beat the Titans. I'm pretty sure. And if the Chiefs do go to play the Patriots again, that's going to be a good game because the Chiefs always
I pick.
play.
I mean, I would pick the Pats in that game.
I'm thinking it's going to be a good. I think the Patriots will still come out on top against the Chiefs, but it's not going to be as easy as people would think because the Chiefs always perform well against the Patriots. And they already did it once this season. They already went into Foxborough and just destroyed the Patriots. So why not go into Foxborough and do it again? I mean, the Chiefs aren't
Because it's a
suffering.
different mindset. This is not the regular season.
I know,
You know,
but
this
they
is
have
not. This isn't the
it's
regular season.
different because they have a lot of young guys. If you think about just think about how you would think about it. If you were 23, 24, you wouldn't have as much pressure of the playoffs because you are still young and cocky and you are in the playoffs. You just got off a win against the Titans. You
Yeah.
know, you're not really worried about, oh, it's just Tom Brady. We won't be able to do nothing. Also, they want to be the team that doesn't choke. The Falcons choked so bad that every team is gunning for the Patriots. Nobody wants to be the team that lets the Patriots into the Super Bowl.
hmm
Nobody wants to let
But why
Tom
don't?
Brady.
But why you think? Yeah, but why do you think everybody don't want Tom Brady? Why don't people want to see Tom Brady do great? I think
Because
a lot of
everybody
people
thinks
think,
that he cheats. Everybody just doesn't like the winners. Everybody
yeah.
thinks he cheats. Everybody thinks Bill Belichick cheats because he got suspended, so he must have did it. Like,
Mhm.
no, there was no proof that he did it. Tom Brady just said, "Give me the thing so we can get this done with." I mean, it's the same thing as like an innocent person taking a deal in the court of law. That's just the way the system works. But it does, either way, nobody wants to be the team that lets the Patriots into the Super Bowl. And the Chiefs
Do you
versus
think it's
Patriots,
well,
Chiefs versus Patriots, that's going to be a good game. I still think the Patriots come out on top. The defense has really picked up, and I don't think Bill Belichick is going to lose his first game in the playoffs. And that's another thing. But the Jags are going to beat the Bills, hands down. There's no way the Bills are going to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars.
the Bill? I got the
If
Bills picked on that one, man. I got the
you're
Bills.
crazy, you're crazy. You're
There's a
crazy.
reason why the Bills are there. There's a reason they're
No,
there
but
right
think
now.
they're there because a team lost. They were out all Sunday. They were out. It wasn't until Sunday night when the Ravens lost, which the Ravens shouldn't have lost. They just had a blown coverage that the Bills got in. You should have
Yeah.
seen. I saw a video on Twitter of the Bills locker room. They were done with their game. Nobody even showered. They didn't even have their pads off yet. They were just sitting there watching the Bengals and Ravens game. Nobody had their pads off. Nobody went to shower. The whole squad was just sitting there watching the game. And then when the Bengals scored, they jumped up and celebrated. Yeah, we're going to the playoffs. The Jags, too good, way too good, way too good. Yeah, they have uh, Bortles quarterback has been picking it up the past few weeks. He's taken
Blake
command.
Bortles.
He's been taking command of that offense. They have a crazy rushing offense. It's it's phenomenal, led by Leonard Fournette. And the defense is way too fast. Way too fast. They're the only team with more than with four people with 8 or more sacks. That's Jacksonville Jaguars. There's no way the Bills are gonna beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, not in my book. It's
I don't
just
know, man. I mean, Saxonville has been impressive this year. We talked about that in a few of our previous shows. But so that's, I mean, do you okay? Do you think the Bills, because they aren't used to being in the playoffs,
I don't think it has anything to do with being used to there.
do you think they'll choke?
They're gonna ride the wave of yes, we made it. But in the back of their mind, there's always gonna be that thought we wouldn't have made it without that loss.
Yeah.
Now, there are some teams, I mean, it's possible, like a team like the Green Bay Packers, when they won the Super Bowl, they were basically in the same situation. They had to play a ton of away games simply because they didn't play well during the season. They were
Right.
relying on other teams losing so that they could make the playoffs. Now, had Aaron Rodgers decided not to be Superman, they wouldn't have made it to the Super Bowl. They had a ton of talent that year, which carried them. The Bills, they don't have a ton of talent.
That's
They have
back when
some talent.
that's back when Eddie Lacy was there.
That was before that.
Before, no, when they won the Super Bowl, Eddie Lacy was playing on the Packers. This last
No, it
Super
was
Bowl
before
they
that.
won.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the one before that. I
Okay.
forget who the running back was. But when they played the Steelers. But the Bills don't have a ton of talent. They have an average defense. They have an average passing offense led by Tyrod Taylor. Then their best asset is their running back, who his best game came in a snowed out game when the defense couldn't even stay on their feet. That was his best game. And honestly, they're just not fast enough. They're not fast enough. So I got the Jacksonville Jaguars going to the second round where they'll be playing the Steelers. And earlier in the season, the Steelers had a full lineup in Pittsburgh. The game was in Pittsburgh, and Jacksonville destroyed the Steelers, 31-7 or something, or 31-10.
You.
Now, I don't think it's going to be that dramatic, but I still got Jacksonville beating the Steelers. Now, there's been
I think I
talk.
think I think Tyrod Taylor gonna show up, man.
Nah,
I think Tyrod Taylor's gonna show up.
he's not going to show up because this is his first time in the playoffs. He's not going to know what to do, and there's not enough going on. There's not enough going on. The defense is too good. The defense is too good. Jacksonville's defense is too good, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
The like I was talking about the sacks, they got more sacks than any team. And honestly, if I had to pick an AFC team that could beat the NFC teams, I would pick the Jacksonville Jaguars because two reasons.
You got a lot of faith in these Jaguars.
Defense wins championships.
That is a true statement. Just like that should go. We
This
should.
is
Then you should
this
start like a true statement board because the other week was styles make matchups, and
this
your
this is why right
statement.
here.
Go
When
ahead.
you can the
Explain it, Rob.
reason the
Run that
reason
shit down,
this
boy.
the reason the Saints and the Panthers have been so dominant these past few weeks and throughout the whole season is because they rush the ball. They run the ball, they know how to run the ball, and they control the clock.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints have done it a little bit better because they can also pass because they got Drew Brees and Michael Thomas.
So you got
But
Drew
their
Brees.
defense has really helped them. I remember there was one game where the Saints
Right.
had like 6 interceptions in one game. It was ridiculous. And that same game, they had like 6 rushing touchdowns. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what does it. The Jaguars have the best defense in the league right now. They have either 1 or 2 in rushing offense. They are going to stop
I
whoever's in
agree.
front of them, and then they're going to run the ball down the throat, controlling the clock. Whoever they play won't have enough time to score. And there's only 2 AFC teams that could beat them, and that's the Patriots or the Steelers. They have to play the Steelers the second round anyways. And then depending on how the Chiefs play against the Patriots, it looks like they might have to play the Patriots too. But if the Chiefs for
What's up, Jeremy?
if
How
the
you doing, man? Welcome in.
if the
Welcome
Chiefs
in. Go ahead,
for
man.
if the Chiefs for some reason do beat the Patriots, which it's possible because they've done it before, but that's a flip of a coin basically. Because those two teams, whichever one shows up, that's who's going to win. Because they're both basically equal. They got average defenses and they got a great offense. I mean, Alex Smith is no Tom Brady, but the
Oh,
Deion Lewis
oh,
Deion Lewis is no Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt is way more skillful than Deion Lewis. So it
yes.
kind of balances out. And if I had to pick one AFC team to play against the NFC team, I would pick the Jags. They're more solid. Blake Bortles been playing good. They got a phenomenal defense. Phenomenal defense. I got a lot of faith in that defense. And then the running game is great. The Panthers' run game is good. The defense is average. The Saints' run game is good. That defense is really good. And the only reason I got the Saints losing the first round is because it's against the Panthers. It's the
Right.
division rival. It's a division rival. They play each other twice a year. So they know what's going to go on. They know what's going to happen. And the Falcons, they're not going to do anything against the Ravens. They're not going to do anything.
So you think so you think that so pretty much what you're saying is that the Jacksonville Jaguars defense is gonna take them all the way. You think their defense can do that?
Yeah.
It's a strong defense. I mean, that's a
And the reason,
uh, uh
this is the main reason. The Steelers are phenomenal. If the Steelers meet the Patriots again in the playoffs, the Steelers will win.
mm-hmm.
They will win because when they played the Patriots before Antonio Brown got hurt in the second quarter, didn't play the second half, or the first quarter didn't play the second half. So Big Ben didn't have his automatic threat, guy that he just goes to and scores and scores and scores all the time.
Right.
So add that back to the picture on top of losing already, because they lost their first seed because that whole catch thing. that's just going to push the Steelers to beat them even more. And as good as Tom Brady
Yep.
is, I don't think I think the plan that the Steelers would come up with would ultimately dominate the Patriots. But again, going back to the Jags will beat the Bills, I think, and then the Jags will beat the Steelers. And the reason is the Steelers' rushing defense is not as good as what has been performed. I mean, they haven't really played anybody that has a good rushing attack like the Jaguars. And when they finally met somebody with the good rushing offense like the Jaguars, they got beat by the
Yeah.
Jaguars. On top of that, the defensive schemes that the Jaguars run just destroy all the playing the offensive schemes that the Steelers run. They would have to flip their whole script just to be able to complete anything.
Mhm.
I mean, Big Ben threw five interceptions against the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week
You
3.
never, man. You never know what Big Ben's gonna do, man. I mean,
Yeah, I
that's
don't.
the
God,
disappointing
he's
thing about watching him.
like, man,
Pull for he's like a Brett Favre. Like
he's
if
worse
he
than
can
Brett
throw it,
Favre.
he can throw it, but it's 50% of the time it might be an interception. 50% of the time it might be a catch. So,
He just
but
plays
Big
so
Ben,
sloppy.
he's inconsistent. He's an inconsistent quarterback. I mean, he has his moments. He has his bricks in the pond moments where it's like kaboom. Oh shit, Big Ben, and then Big Ben. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is.
And another thing, so we'll say Jags beat the Bills, and then they go on and they beat the Steelers. That's going to be a tough game. We'll say the Chiefs lose. They'll play the Patriots. So the Jags will be playing against the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady, he has one of the fastest releases. He usually gets the ball and it's gone in under 2 seconds. But Tom Brady this year has fallen to teams that blitz and sack. He hasn't shown great passing presence when a team is rushing. And we're talking about Saxonville, team leading the National League in sacks.
Right.
They have more sacks per player on defense than any other team. And they're fast. They're really fast. They're fast.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we've obviously made there was Le'Veon Bell when the Steelers played the Patriots again. Le'Veon Bell destroyed them, ran all over them, just 100 and some yards. Now, Leonard Fournette is no Le'Veon Bell, but uh, the accumulative forces the running backs that the Jacksonville Jaguars have is going to make up for it. So I think the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Patriots in the AFC Championship.
Well, let's see. We got some live chatters. We got Jeremy Hines. Jeremy Hines says the Jags may be a little too young, but definitely up and coming though. I think I understand what he's saying. And you made that point earlier, Rob, about them having a really young team. Having a really. I think you were talking about the Jags, weren't you?
No.
The Jags. Um, I think the Jags can go all the way with it, man. I mean, just watching them this season, and I think the Jags can do it. But I mean, I really think that that's in could do it. But for me, I think the Cinderella story of this season, is the Bills. I just think that. I think that the Bills are they're here for a reason. I mean, they're capable. I mean, some people don't think they are. You know what I'm saying? But they're capable of doing it. All they gotta do is just catch whoever they playing on a bad night.
I want to ask you something. Do you remember on Christmas the Steelers football game?
I watched that.
They
Yes.
I forget who they were playing, but remember how boring it was? The Steelers just kept scoring and kept scoring, kept scoring. Remember that?
Yep. Hmm.
That's gonna be the exact same thing in the Jags versus Bills game.
When they played the Texans,
Yeah, that's gonna be the same thing in the Bills and Jags game, bro. The Bills are going to be the Texans, and the Jags are going to be the Steelers in that same scenario.
But okay. Well, since you say that, you never know. Look what happened to Clemson.
That's different.
We
That's
don't we
different.
don't
That's
cover
different.
college football. We don't
That's different.
cover college football.
That's
But look
different.
what happened to Clemson.
Clemson was lucky to be where they were. They were lucky to have the season that they had because all the players that they lost.
Well,
They
this was
lost
a
a lot of
rebuild.
players last year.
This was supposed to be like a rebuild season for
Well,
the Clemson
there was no such thing as a rebuild in college football. But I'm saying the people that won them their national championship last year, a lot of them left. Hence,
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson, and you saw how dominant he was before he
Well.
got hurt this season.
Oh yeah.
He was killing it, setting records. But anyways, I don't think the Bills stand a chance.
Hold on. Jeremy Hines says, "Do you really trust Blake Bortles in the playoffs?"
Yes. And if not
Not
him,
really.
Leonard Fournette. I trust that running offense if Blake Bortles does not show up. And the reason that I'm putting a little bit of faith in Blake Bortles is because of what he's done the past few weeks. Now, if we're talking about
Okay.
pre-week 6 or pre-week
No.
8, no, I'm not gonna.
No.
You can't do nothing with Blake Bortles. That was
No.
when Leonard Fournette was killing it. He was on
Yes, he
fire.
was killing it for my. He
I
was
know
killing
he
it
was
for my
on fire.
fantasy team too. See the whatever.
What
Go ahead.
fantasy league? Leonard Fournette was on my team.
He was on my team.
No, he wasn't.
I
I drafted him.
traded you. I traded you Leonard
No,
Fournette.
I drafted him.
I traded you for Leonard
No,
Fournette.
I drafted him in the 3rd round because I remember my friend Kyle made fun of me for it.
You traded me for him.
No, I know you gave. I traded you Kareem Hunt, not Leonard Fournette.
We'll have
You
to go
gave me
back and
Kareem
look.
Hunt. Doesn't
I
matter.
at some point. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You never had Leonard Fournette.
I swear to God, I
You
did.
wish you had Leonard Fournette.
Maybe I wanted Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Okay, if I had to pick 2 teams, it's going to be Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Rams, the LA Rams.
It's not a bad matchup. If I had to choose, I would have to say it would be the Carolina Panthers versus the Buffalo Bills.
Now that's just you being a
I
fan.
see the Buffalo. No, I'm not being a fan because I'm not a fan of either one. My team is out.
Why the
Green Bay.
Panthers then? They don't. They statistically they don't match up.
I say the Panthers because I say the Panthers because of Cam Newton. You know,
Yeah,
I think,
but I just their road is way too hard. They got the Saints, which is a spectacular running offense and a spectacular defense. That's already going to be tough. It was tough for me to even give them the victory. I know there's a lot of people watching right now that like the Carolina Panthers, and I don't. They're in the playoffs. You should be happy. But if they lose the Saints, I'm not going to feel bad about being wrong, because honestly, it's a toss up. When I first started thinking about this game, I honestly thought it was going to be a tie. I'm like, fuck it. I just throw a tie. It's going to be 28-28 the whole time. They're never going to score. It's just going to be 28-28, 28-28. But I decided to just give the Panthers a field goal. Say, you know what? Forget it. It's going to be 31-28. But overall, collectively, the Rams got way more going for them. And as a matter of fact, the Minnesota Vikings got way more going for them. I mean, the Eagles, they got a chance because, I mean, they still got good talent. But without Carson Wentz, you almost just got to sit him on the bench. Don't even put any money on him.
pretty much.
If you don't live in Philadelphia, you shouldn't even be cheering for the Eagles right now. I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't really have a favorite team just to let you guys know. But the Rams are going to kill the Falcons. That's they're going to eat the Falcons for lunch. They're gonna pluck the wings and chop them up and throw them in the deep fryer and have some Falcon feast. But
Falcon feast.
Panthers, I don't know, man. That's tough. It's tough. That's a tough
That's gonna be a
call.
good one, man.
Because think about it this way:
Go ahead.
you play the Saints, you beat the Saints. It's almost, I wouldn't say an automatic win against the Eagles, but you're heavy favorites. So say you get past the Saints, you get past the Eagles. You have the Rams or the Minnesota Vikings. Both extremely tough teams. You
I was
got the
about to
high
say the same
you got
thing.
the high scoring Rams. The high
Yep.
scoring Rams. And then you have they have a
You
not a
have the
mediocre but
pounding
an
Vikings.
average defense. And then you have the Minnesota Vikings. The most consistent offense this season and right now the most dominant defense according to
Mm-hmm.
their points. They're not the fastest, they don't have the most interceptions, they don't have the most sacks, but
Mm-mm.
they hold teams to low scores. So do you really think the Panthers could get past either one of those teams? Is that what you're telling me?
I, I think they could. I really do because I just have faith in Cam. Like everybody always talks about Cam because he's so flashy. He's so this. He wears the whatever. He's like the Conor McGregor of the NFL. But he's impressive, man. I mean, he's impressive.
You know
Come
what?
on, give him.
I'm giving Cam Newton the push to get past the Saints and the Eagles, but the Panthers will not get past the Minnesota Vikings or the LA Rams.
Well, then again, I mean, he did choke in the Super Bowl last year, but I mean, you never know, man. You never know what'll happen. I mean, you got some great wide receiver. I mean, you can stay focused and not get jumbled by if let's say the other team's up by half at halftime or something like that. Like if Cam doesn't get jumbled up like he did last year, he should be all right.
It wasn't last year.
What was the year before?
I think it was the year before.
When
Last year
Cam
was last year was Patriots and Falcons.
okay, then year before when Cam messed up in the Super Bowl, like I don't know, man. If he doesn't do that, you know what I'm saying, then he may have a chance to do it. But I would.
Who do you have going in front of the AFC?
Um, who are the teams that's in there again?
Bills, Jags, Titans, Chiefs, Patriots, Steelers. Already, you already messed up saying the Bills are going to beat the Jags, so I don't know. You can go ahead.
I'd say you can be mad at me. I would choose the Steelers. I mean, I know you're gonna be like,
It's not a bad choice. They got a good run going.
but I know how you feel about Brady and all, but
What do you mean?
um,
Hate Tom Brady.
that's what I'm saying.
This is what it is. The Steelers have a good
Well,
run.
you hate the guy.
They or the Patriots have the easiest run. They get a bye week the first week, and then it's either the Titans or the Chiefs. That's super easy. They've had wins over both those teams. The only difference was the week one the Chiefs dominated the Patriots. But either way, they have the easiest run because the Steelers get the bye week, but then they would play either they're going to play the Jags. They're not going to play
Excuse
the.
me, I meant to say. I said Tom Brady. I meant to say Ben Roethlisberger. You hate Ben Roethlisberger,
Oh yeah, I hate both of them. I don't like the Patriots. I don't like the Steelers either. But
but Ben could pull it off though. That's the thing. If I like I said, if Ben quit being so sloppy and stop depending on everybody else, if Ben was to get a little bit more speed, if Ben was to get a little bit more speed, and if Ben
he's
could
too
move a
big.
little bit,
He's too big. But this is
Ben
my thing.
could move a little bit faster, we might have a little bit more success. But
I don't
Ben
know. We're
moves.
ultimately we're gonna have to see whichever team performs. Obviously, the best team is gonna win, no matter what. I really hope the only thing that I'm hoping for, and I'm pretty sure all the viewers and everybody watching this can agree, is I do not want to see some bullshit referee call fuck up the game at the end.
Wow.
If it
You
does
better
come
write
down
a
to a
letter to the NFL.
if it does come down to a score or a fumble or an interception or something, let the fucking thing play out. I want to see I'm all season I've been seeing fumbles and then the
And
whistle would be
bad
blown
calls.
and then they would say,
Terrible.
"Oh, nope, it wasn't." Like you would see okay, we'll say for instance the quarterback fumbles it. A defensive player picks it up. He has a clear shot for a touchdown. The referee will blow the whistle, then they'll go back review it and say, "Yep, it was a fumble." Like, dude, you just lost the other team 6 points. You idiot. Like, let the fumbles play out. Review it later. And geez, let the people hit each other. Oh my god, so sick of that.
Yeah.
So sick of these little babies.
Jer- Jeremy Hines says the Panthers have a lot of experience as a team. You know what it takes to make it to the Super Bowl. Yes, yes, I agree, Jeremy. They know how to work together
100%.
as a team.
Yeah, they do.
But we'll see. This is gonna be an interesting. This is gonna be an interesting playoff season. I mean, as bad of a season as it was,
Yeah, all these soft
turned out to be
players.
an it turned out to be a quite interesting playoff. So we will definitely be talking about that, guys. So y'all just stay
You
with
know,
us.
if you ever have you ever like left an apple sitting outside for too long,
I have.
and then it like sits on the ground, then you pick it up and it's like mush. That's like the NFL players this season.
Mhm. You think they mush?
Yeah, bunch of
You think they?
softies.
You think they Frankenstein's walking around?
They just a bunch of soft, brittle divas.
they
Little
all.
teenagers in tights. All of
We
them
gonna
getting
get
hurt
our
left and
ass
right.
kicked,
Now
man.
you know what? The only guys that are tough are the defensive linemen and the offensive linemen. I give all credit to them because they go 100% all the time. People hands in their face.
The
They're probably
quarterback, the
getting
quarterbacks ain't tough, Rob.
no, not one of them, not one, not a single one. All of them scared to get hit. All of them when somebody just taps them on the shoulder, they fall down like LeBron James, looking up at the ref like, "What the hell are you gonna do? You gonna call something? Like, get out of here."
That's
And then
LeBron. That's Tom. No, that's Tom Brady.
that's both of them. I think they both went to the same flop university. Both graduated at the top of their class. But no, it's just like like let them hit. Like
Yeah, man. It's
they've been
football.
developing pads, they've been developing new helmets. It's like why are you even creating helmets? Just go back to the old school helmets when people didn't cry over concussions every single time they
You
got
talking
hit.
about like the ones with the one bar across the front, like right here?
No, the ones that like the helmet that Tom Brady uses, that's the old version of it. He still uses the old version helmet. Same thing with Aaron
Yeah,
Rodgers. He still uses the old version of the helmet.
let them. I'm surprised they still let them do that.
They let them do it because they're quarterbacks. Soft little brittle babies that can't get hit. They don't care what the quarterbacks wear because they're gonna call a flag if they get touched anyways. And
Yeah.
don't get me started on defensive backs. They always think that they're gonna hit
Uh-oh.
somebody, and then if the wide receiver touches them, they wave their hands up in the air, crying for a pass interference call. And then wide receivers, the biggest sissies of all. I can't even get into that. They're worse than snowflakes. So I'm just getting
Man,
I'm getting
these
them kind
guys,
of
man, these I'm gonna stick to what I said, man. These guys have been beat up. They've been through intense training. I played football in high school, and I know
I
I
played
played high
football and I
school
played
football.
every sport in high school and I did training 100% of the year.
And that it takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot out of
Not
you to
me.
do. And they're
Not if
competing.
you eat properly and you stay focused, you'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah, says a wide receiver or a running back. You talking to a lineman here.
Okay, but like I said
We don't
before, the
have to
linemen are
we
the
don't
toughest people. When I talk about soft, brittle
we
players, I
don't
exclude defensive linemen. I exclude offensive linemen. I ain't talking about them. Those dudes are tough. I'm talking about
okay, okay.
the weak running back, or some of the running backs are tough. But I'm talking about the quarterbacks, the defensive backs, the wide receivers, all a bunch of the. You might as well just put the cheerleaders in pads and let them play.
Put Cyborg out there. She'll show those guys how to get
Oh no,
roughed up.
man, no, no. She'll go to prison. She'll
Much
kill
for him,
somebody.
for him, man. She's
No,
she's too much
if
for
you
those
okay, if
guys.
Cyborg went out there, people would be killed. That's how soft they are. She would kill somebody.
But
One
dude, what's
hit.
the craziest thing? The craziest thing about Cyborg, dude, she's such a beast. She's such a monster. She has this mad face. But if you watch of Chris Cyborg, she's like the nicest, sweetest person ever. Like
Is she married?
she was married. She was married to
Oh, she was. I
yeah,
figured
to
she was
Cyborg San
married. He
to
probably walked.
Cyborg Santos. She was
He
married to
probably
Cyborg Santos.
he probably divorced her. She was too tough.
probably was beating his ass, but
Yeah, she was
it's
like
just crazy.
dominatrix.
She said it. She said I just turned. She said I hate goes into my heart when I go into the ring. I was like, wow, like because she's the nicest girl outside the ring. Hopefully one day, one day we will have Chris Cyborg on Sports Scrutiny.
And if not her, the next best thing.
Nah, but for real, I'm gonna try to get Megan Anderson on here, man. Like I really, really want to talk to Megan Anderson. Like I know a lot of people give Megan Anderson a lot of crap about um ducking Cyborg. I don't think she ducked Cyborg. I think some things just happened and it just wasn't the right time for her to fight Cyborg. Really want to get me. I really want to help Megan
We can do that. We can
win
do that.
people
We can do
over
that.
again.
But we can't get back into that again. I think we've entertained our audience enough for
I know,
today.
yeah, I've talked about that enough today, man. And don't get me started back on MMA, man. Don't get me started back. I can go all day, dog.
Well, you know what? I want to add this. Um, if you're seeing this video and you guys have some comments that you want to make about the playoffs and you want to see what I have to say about what you're thinking, go back and leave a comment on the video after the stream is done. That way I can see the comments because I don't have the live feed up right now, so I can't see what everybody's saying. But if
Mm-hmm.
you want, go back to this video and obviously like the video, and leave a comment on what your predictions are for the playoffs. At least the first week. I want to see
I
what you
hear
guys are
that.
saying. I want to see
We
what you
want to
guys
hear
think is gonna
this.
happen. I want to see what you guys think about the Bills making the playoffs and the Jacksonville Jaguars gonna kill them. I don't know what BJ's thinking. And I know you got some Panthers fans in here. Maybe even some Falcons fans. I want to see what you guys think. Maybe you think the Falcons stand a chance against the Rams. I don't know.
Ugh.
Whatever it is. But
Ugh.
make sure you do it after the stream is done. The video will be posted on the YouTube channel. Leave a comment on there.
Yes.
Like the
And also go
video.
like us on Facebook. We're on Facebook at Sports Scrutiny Live. We try to
But
keep
yeah,
that
you could do
recent.
it there too. You could do it there
Oh
too.
yeah.
Post on our channel. Send us a message on our Facebook. I want to see what you guys think. Think about
Oh
this
yeah.
playoffs.
Absolutely. Um, is that all you got, Rob?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I know we didn't talk about the NBA, but there's not been a lot going on. There's no serious injuries except for maybe Chris Paul is in and out of the game. Um, as hot as the Rockets were, they have really slowed down
Yeah, they
the
have
past few
slowed
games.
down.
Um,
Slowed down.
Still some big talk about, obviously LeBron James and the Cavaliers, and then you got Kyrie Irving and the Celtics. But other than that, we just gotta wait until you know All Star break, and after the All Star break, that's when the NBA starts getting hot. That's when we're gonna really dig in.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, we just gotta focus on the UFC matches coming up. We're gonna be focusing on the playoffs of the NFL. Um, Tennis, we got big Grand Slam coming up this month, January. We got the Australian Open for all of our tennis fans. I'll be covering that because I love tennis. And then usually by February we'll probably get back into the MLB. Be a lot of free agents being picked up, usually towards the end of this month. So we'll talk about that in February. Other than that, 2018, the first few months are going to be covered. Like we said earlier, we're looking forward to Conor McGregor getting back in the octagon, fighting Tony. I forget his last name. Tony who?
Ferguson, Tony
Yeah.
Ferguson.
Hopefully that happens in March. Don't know what UFC card is going to be, but the whole card itself should be fire.
Should
Looking
be.
forward to that. This first few months of 2018, I hope it's great. Looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys had a great holiday.
I did, man. I had a great holiday and a great birthday.
Man, I ain't talking. I'm talking to the fame.
Oh, I thought you was talking to me. My bad. Oh man. Guys, new year. Thanks for
Oh
sticking
yeah,
with
and
us.
one thing I need to tell everybody: when you guys are writing stuff down and you need to write the year, don't write 7. Okay, it's not 2017 no more. You have to write 2018 because I know you can make an 8 out of a 7, but don't be that
Yes.
guy that has to. to make the squiggly line to make it look like an 8. Make sure when you're
I'm that
writing
guy.
stuff down, you have to write a date. It's
I
18.
did it at I did
No,
it at work today. I did it at work today. I was writing up a. I'm at work writing up a car deal, and I did the 7. Then I had to and make it an 8. I did it.
yep. You're that guy. Yep, I know. But
Uh,
anyways, I think that's it for tonight. What do you think?
I'm good, man. You know, if you guys missed our MMA talk, most definitely go back this way, back to the front of the video.
No, it's the other way.
Um, we spent about an hour talking about MMA.
It's that way.
If you guys, is it that way?
Yeah.
Well, then that means the like button is right there. So that means you guys right now help us out, guys. Hit the like button. 1 like so far. We need some likes. Hit the like button. Help us out. What was I saying? Where was I going with this? I'm lost.
You were just getting into saying goodnight, subscribe,
Oh
like,
yeah,
comment,
subscribe.
share, tell your friends, hit the notification so you can know when we
I
come
just
live.
want, yeah,
We're always here for
absolutely.
you. Go to our Facebook, like our page, leave a comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about the next week. If you got any more information about any type of sports that we didn't talk about, if you want us to talk about polo that's going over there in England, maybe we'll bring it up. Hit us with the information and we will
Oh,
get it going.
wait. If we get polo, then that means we got to have ping pong and
You know
darts
what?
and shit like that.
Darts is fun. I actually watch darts.
Is it like a strategy to darts?
Yeah, you have to be good at throwing the same every time. Like darts, it's a score of 500. You start at 500 and you have to make your way down to 0. But the only way to get to 0 is if you hit a double. Like if you have 8 points left, you can't just hit the 8 and game over. You have to hit a double 4. And if you miss the double 4 and you just hit the regular 4, then you have to hit a double 2. You can only exit the game on a double or a bullseye.
I'm super mad about how you know the rules to darts. I am
What do you
super
mean?
mad about how you know the rules to professional darts.
What are you talking about? What's so wrong with that?
So you know the rules to darts.
Yeah.
Oh
And you
man,
ha- and you
Rob.
and you and you have to stand 2 meters away from the board. I think it's 2 meters.
I'm gonna have to look into darts. Cause the only time I play darts is when I'm intoxicated. So
And the best score you can get is 180. That's when you hit 3 triple 20s.
that's the highest score you can get.
Yeah, in one session because you can only throw 3 darts at a time, and
So
then it's the next guy's turn.
what do you call a professional dart player?
Professional
A,
dart player.
a darter.
No, a professional dart. Where do you come up with this stuff? Go
I was just
back.
asking.
Go back. You call him a
What do you?
professional dart player.
Oh, you don't call him a darter?
No, what the hell's a darter? Go back to talking about your water buffalo. No, but anyways, there's this thing called a 9. It's called a 9 dart. And basically, you start at 500 and you throw 3 darts to get 180. You throw 3 darts to get 180, and you throw 3 darts to get whatever the remaining is. I forget what it is. Or no, it's actually 501. It's not 500.
Well, on a future show, we will give you the
We
official
we ain't talking about
list.
darts in no future show. Unless
Sure.
unless the only way we're gonna get into sports like that, like the sports that aren't real, the main focus in the United States. If you want us to talk about something, you're from a different country, leave a comment. You have to go back on the video, like the video, drop a comment, make sure you subscribe, and if you don't want to do that, go hit us up on our Facebook. Give us the information of what you want us to talk about. I'll dig into it if you guys want. You have
Also,
to give me a reason to want to dig into it. I can't just know what you're thinking to bring it up. Can't
that's
read
right.
minds. If I could, I wouldn't be doing this.
That's right. So, and also, guys, on Twitter as well, go like us at Sports Scrutiny at Sports Scrutiny on Twitter. So go like us. That's how we We got to communicate with a lot of the interviewees that we do. So yeah, follow us on Twitter. We're active on social media, guys. We try to keep y'all updated on everything, and just let us leave your comments. Let us know. Maybe we
Yep.
can, if we messed up, if we stated something wrong, let us know in the comments. We'll fix it next show.
Yeah, what he meant is if BJ messed up, let him know.
I'm always messing up, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, y'all don't understand. Like when the camera and the spotlight, like when it's on you, like a real spotlight. Like when the camera is on you and you know you're live, it's a little
Yeah, it
intimidating.
gets to BJ more than it does to me. I'm not
It
real worried.
does. I must admit, it does. Cause I get a little nervous sometimes. You know what I'm saying, man? Cause I have the tendency to stumble over my words, so I'm always trying to block that. So y'all just bear with us as we roll on into 2018. 2018 is gonna be way better than 2017 was. We're gonna bring y'all even hotter interviews. We're gonna bring y'all a whole new platform and layout on how we do our shows. We're gonna have an intro video. Man, we about to rock it in 2018. Best
Oh
believe.
yeah, can't wait. Cannot wait.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Well,
That's it.
I
That's
think
it for
that's
tonight.
it.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it,
it.
man.
That's it. We're done. We're gonna bore.
We
We're just rambling on. We're boring everybody.
we're rambling. So we are